Greetings, Earthlings.
Warning, the following program contains strong Black first opinion about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissy.
Grand Rising All, you are listening to the one and only The One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
What about that?
Who wants to bring us in this night with this voting frenzy?
Maybe we should kick it off with blah la 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 Trumpa.
God damn it.
I think we're looking at something that's going to have leftist liberals all across the country trembling in fear at the upcoming elections, especially the 2028 presidential election. The local elections is going to be bad, and we know this is going to have a major impact on the next presidential election. And what we're talking about, folk, the recent ruling at the Supreme Court about redistricting. Now, looking at it, if I were to lay an intro on this, we recently went through redistricting here in California, and if you've been following our social media, you know that there was an incident a few years ago where the LA City Council president, which was, I forgot if her name was Yuri or Nuri Martinez, and other Latino members were caught on tape, or the tape was leaked of them basically breaking down their race-based program for assuming power and Black ethnic cleansing to get us out of the picture and putting money in the pockets of Black sellout politicians to aid them in their power grab. And redistricting is a big part of that process. So when you look at certain, if you ever lived in LA and you look back now and come back out here now, you'll see certain districts that used to be predominantly Black are wiped out. Most of them are gone, and they've been redistricted to where there's Latino control. And we just lost. I think we have 3 Black seats left on the LA City Council, and we just lost one of those last 3. And that's because most of us as Black people, we don't understand, especially at the local level. We tend to only focus on the presidential election, but on the local level, this is a very serious issue that we fail to understand. And so now what we're looking at here, folk, ladies and gentlemen, is the Republican Party has officially decided to do what Democrats have been doing for years. And that is move the goalposts in their favor to get their candidates easy elections. Would anybody care to explain to our audience so we understand exactly what we're talking about and how serious it is, what redistricting is, and how it definitely affects us on the local level?
I guess Tina said she has some information on it. I just think, man, I don't know. I don't think it's a problem. I did think we too stuck in the past. I think people have changed over time. I'm not saying that racism don't exist. I mean, that's like saying there's no such thing as murderers and rapists. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying I don't think we have to worry about getting put back in chains and, you know, people spitting on us, and we got to have separate water fountains. And I think a lot of the Democrats and liberals are trying to paint it like that. You know what I'm saying? And I hear a lot of Black Americans like, nah, even a lot of Black women really calling out like, that's not an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't take your right to vote. You still can go vote. You know what I'm saying? You need to have your damn ID. You know what I'm saying? Because people still yelling at no ID crap. You need to have ID to get alcohol, to get a house, to go to the military, all that. You know what I'm saying? So they need to stop that. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's played out.
You know what I'm saying? It's played out. We don't want to hear that excuses. Just have your damn
and
idea.
well, in a nutshell, what they're doing is a district will at times be predominantly one culture or race or whatever. So with each election, we gotta remember they keep detailed records and receipts. They're not gonna. It's like investing. You don't invest in stocks and bonds unless you thoroughly investigate the companies that you're putting your money into. So in political terms, they have to look at the numbers as to why did this candidate lose here? What was weak about this? What was weak about that? What was the strength here? So they are pretty accurate at judging which district is going to be blue, what's going to be red, and what district is turning purple. And the Trump win of the last presidential election did shake. We saw even here in California, a lot of districts that were solidly blue went purple and some went red. They lost a lot of districts in California. So like I said at the top, we recently went through, it was called Prop 50, where they redistricted California. So what it is they'll, what they try to, what they do with this process is, we know that it's easier for us to win the selection if we include this part of the map in a certain district that's friendly for us. So basically what it is they'll draw up the map to where it's easier for them to win an election. It's basically what we're talking about here, for those that don't understand what this is and how serious it is. So say, for example, you were in Maxine Waters' jurisdiction or Jimbo Jangles or whatever. So what they would do is, okay, Jimbo Jangles is losing ground in this district and this one and this one. So the demographics have changed there. So let's adjust that to where it's easy for him to stay in power. So basically it's like a moving of the goalposts and rearranging the chessboard so they can ensure a W at the next election.
Great point.
And also, side note to that, it does make it, this process makes it easier for them to, I'll call it vote siphoning. So say, here's an example of it. We know that Biden and Kamala, during their tenure, flooded the zone in a lot of Black communities with immigrants. So we did that. So what we would do to capitalize that is redistrict it. So where, okay, this district used to be Black, but now it's predominantly whatever they flooded it. So now they're going to change that map around to that, so that we can go on that new base of imported in place that they flooded on with in them the elections to break it down. And yes, this is all legal, by the way.
This is what every mom wants for Mother's Day.
Hello, y'all. Sorry, advertising the wrong people.
Dude, I mean, so
Yeah.
I think the first question here would be, well, my response to it is, I can't believe Republicans have waited this long to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, because Democrats have been doing it forever. So I can't believe they waited this long to do it.
Exactly.
But
I think it was the right timing, I think. But you know, Trump being in there, even though he's doing, you know, of course I'm the war thing. I'm like, okay, you say you won't be no war because he has said things. He said he wasn't gonna do what he do. But that's politics. But like you said, I think he had to be the right person. He had to be the right person in place. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm getting ready to play something real quick.
Hold on for a second. Hold on.
Yeah.
I think Trump had to be the right person in place for them to push this off, Pablo. So I don't think they could have did it in the past. They didn't have nobody with the, you know, the heart to do it, you know, to get the people in place, you know, the judges. So this is a question I want to ask before she played the video. So I know Clarence Thomas, I know his stance is on everything, you know, Supreme Court. But what about your girl Ketanji Brown Jackson Lee, whatever her name is? Ain't she supposed to be
the one who said that she don't know what a female is?
Exactly. So she was on the court. She voted for it too.
Yeah. I mean,
wait, that's not, so that wasn't just a meme or a YouTube joke. She actually said that?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
said that.
she
Hell
said
yeah,
that
she
she didn't
said
know
that.
what a female was. She plays the game. Everybody wants to blame Trump, but all of these people are complicit.
Yeah.
It's as I said earlier when we said W.E. Du Bois said, there's one evil party with two different names, Democrats and Republicans.
Facts.
And right now, one of them have been doing anything for us. But let me play this real quick before my, how my service started acting up. And it just, like they say, they're both playing this game. They're both playing these games of trying to act like they did for us, but they're not.
Redistricting battle spreading across the country is quickly becoming one of the most powerful forces shaping the midterm elections this November. It's terrible for the country. Both sides do it. It's awful. Take a look at what's happening in Virginia, where the state Supreme Court could soon unwind Democrats' big win from last month. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, lawmakers are looking to redraw maps that tilt further to the right, and they're not alone. Similar efforts are underway in southern states like Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, and Florida. Democrats who demanded redistricting in Virginia, invented it in Massachusetts, and love it in New England, call it racist anywhere else.
Our message to the Republican Party, our message to that racist, white supremacist president, Donald Trump, is that we will fight. Yeah. We will fight.
You're changing the House of Representatives from the People's House to the Republican Party, MAGA's house, to the governor's house. And that's not the way government is supposed to be.
And just a quick reminder of what we are talking about. Redistricting, aka gerrymandering, is redrawing district lines inside a state strategically around groups of people that reliably vote for one party and lumps the people who vote for the other party in fewer districts. So we made an example for you. If you had a state with 60% blue voters, 40% red, you could group them in such a way that only 2 districts go blue and 3 go red. Or you could do the opposite and create 5 blue districts and not a single red district. Same voters, completely different results based on how you draw the lines. Congress, of course, could fix this problem nationwide, but they won't. So now it falls potentially to the Supreme Court. Our friend, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General, Constitutional Law Attorney Tom Dupree with us. Mr. Dupree, counsel, is this what the Supreme Court was created for?
Well, the Supreme Court was created to enforce and apply the laws and the Constitution. And I can tell you that I know the justices don't want to be in the business of having to police these types of redistricting battles. They have said, and in other cases, very often, that, look, this is something for the political process, and they don't want to have to sit and review whether or not things were too political or not political enough. They're there to enforce constitutional rules, constitutional boundaries, but then the states have a fair degree of freedom to redistrict as they see fit, and that's what we're seeing playing out today.
Yeah, now, I just want to say this. You see that the Democrats, and people think we're Trump supporters. No, as I said before, there's one evil party with 2 different names. Quote, W.E. Du Bois said this. Democrats and Republicans, there was no such thing as a Democrat until the Dixiecrats came in to divide everybody that was Republican. So I say everybody go back to being Republican and everybody just vote for the right candidate.
Congress could supersede all of this and say you have to redistrict upon neutral lines or nonpartisan lines. That, of course, hasn't happened. For all of the talk about how redistricting is racist, we just put together a map of New England. 2024 presidential results in New England. In New Hampshire, Harris 50.6, Trump 47.9, 0 Republican seats. Between Maine, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and Vermont, not a single GOP House seat. At some point, is redistricting, no matter what we hear about the adjectives ascribed to it, basically whoever plays the game better?
Well, that's what's coming down to now. And look, we're seeing both parties play the game pretty effectively. I think the New England example is a perfect example. To your point, there are roughly 40 to 45% of the population of New England is Republican, and they have 0 representatives in Congress. Something's going on there. I think the Republicans saw what the Democrats had done in New England and elsewhere. And when they had the freedom to redistrict, they said, look, we're going to do this too. We can play the game, 2 can play at that. And now the Democrats are fighting back against the Republicans. So it's kind of a mutually assured destruction sort of scenario playing out.
Well, it's mutually assured protection is the other way, right? Because I don't mean to get you too much in the politics of this, but all this does is increase division in America because it makes every election a primary fight. Therefore, the extremes of each party have by far the most power. That's not really a constitutional issue. That more goes back to sort of the framers and the Declaration's intent. You can look at the New England map and not like it or not think it's fair, but do Republicans have a way to challenge it?
Well, not under the current system. It's pretty hard for them to do. States have a pretty broad hand in how they want to draw these maps. They don't have total discretion, and we're seeing a lot of legal challenges being brought in Virginia and elsewhere when states do try to redistrict. But look, I think this is going to be the new normal, at least for the time being. And you're right. I do think it has the effect of polarizing it in that congressmen are not afraid so much of losing in a general election because the only threat to them comes from a primary. Right. So they just have to protect their left flank or their right flank.
Yeah, and they have no interest then in compromising. Rahm Emanuel probably going to run for president. I had this to say. Take a listen.
I'm watching China. They're working on research. We're working on redistricting. We're working on ballrooms, and they're working on bullet trains. This is you can sit there and say this. Do we have challenges on our party? I was there before you were there.
Play this out for us real quick, Tom. Everybody will be consumed by this for the next 6 months or so. Can you really redistrict something in the next 6 months before an election, a la, say, Louisiana or Tennessee?
Well, it's hard. The answer is yes, you can do it, but it's difficult. And what we are seeing playing out in some states, namely Virginia, is you have elections that have occurred, and now the courts are looking backward to decide whether or not the election was permissible. So the answer is yes, you can do it, but it is hard, and it risks creating massive confusion if one day the districts are good, and the next day they're bad, and the next day they're good again. It's hard to run an election in those circumstances.
Dare I say, a threat to democracy. Tom Dupree, or at least our confidence in democracy.
Thank
Damn, Pablo left out.
I think he did. Y'all see that?
Yeah.
These white people there, they basically are trying to. I played them because they have a show where it's supposed to be non-biased. You know, they talking about both sides, even though they're gonna kind of lean towards whatever. But they're saying it. You seen the man on there. China is working on bullet trains and everything else. And we over here fighting with white supremacy because the same old raggedy, old cloth wearing, holding on to the last string of the sheet wearing people who's been sitting in Congress is playing the same old racist games because they want to keep being rich. They want everybody black under their robes while they eat and do everything and we wipe their asses. They want this because they don't want to change. And these people that are running for Congress are 70, the people that are already sitting in Congress.
The what's her name? Maxine Waters and all them old people. Yeah. They feeding everybody that BS, man. They need to sit down.
Yes. I wanted to tell you, Congress was not meant to be a place for you to get rich off of. It was supposed to be a place that represent the people. I had a list, and I can pull it up if y'all want, but almost every Congress member is now multimillionaire, starting with the old whites all the way down to Maxine Waters and everybody black that is supposed to be representing us. Hakeem Jeffries, Corey, what's his name? Corey, Cory Booker. They're all millionaires. They get up there and play and cosplay that they represent you, and they go and they only get a little piece of the pie, and they're mad because the upper whites are getting a big piece of pie. The Congress salaries, they're worth $500 million all the way down to 500 million, where the black people are still getting the pennies, but they're still getting something, and the rest of us are working every day while they play games with us. I suggest everybody go to Republicans. Everybody just leave the Democratic Party. It doesn't mean that the Democratic Party has no values for no one. They complaining about redistricting, but look at the districts that they've been running. Crime riddled, We wearing t-shirts because because everybody is being unalived by teenagers. I don't want to say just black, but that's what we are.
Facts.
We being unalive. Our women walking around twerking.
Boy, what? Bonnets
Have no structure. So get rid of one. Let's go back to one party. If we're gonna deal with a party, stop dividing us into parties. Let's have one evil party and may the best man win. Then that way you can stop and you can see who's representing you instead of playing this game. Everybody join one party. Let's everybody just join the Republicans, and then you don't have to be sit up here because you want to be played and say, well, they don't represent that. Everybody go back to one party like it was when the United States was built. That's what y'all are not understanding.
Exactly. Who was that? Somebody was
the United States was built off of one party, the Republican Party, and then you voted for the best person.
Yeah, it was I think it was it Stephen A. Smith? Somebody said black people should just vote Republican. All black people should vote Republican.
Yeah.
Then you'll see, okay, never hold them accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, boom. So keep talking about some, well, they ain't never did that for us because we don't vote in mass for them. So of course they don't need our vote because we never had to, you know what I'm saying? We never had to vote for them. We always voted Democrats. So it's like, why not? What we got to lose?
Yeah, like why not?
I've been saying that one for years.
Republican, and then because the Republicans have the party, they redistrict everything. If it really was about the right candidate, if it was really about the right person representing you, go over there where they redistrict everything, so everybody go Republican, and then make changes.
Two questions as far as our voting habits as a people. One, what is it? What is it about this Democrat Party that has us so locked in, so addicted, so loyal? I mean, we got to think about it. The boldness of LBJ to say, "I'll have those ninjas."
They have us tricked to think that that's something that belongs to us when it's not.
I don't think we really think about the boldness of LBJ's statement. I'll have them ninjas with the hard ER on the end voting Democrat for the next 200 years. I mean, how many? I know all of us on here have grown up, and we came to the realization and around the high school age. Because for me, it was in high school, maybe middle school. I came to the realization and I said, why do we as a people keep voting for everything that is against our best interests just because there's a D next to it? What have they bamboozled us with that has us under this spell like this? Because even some of us, like we're seeing it here with every time we run a candidate for office, we can talk to where I got distracted. I just saw Mighty Whitey riding by with cornrows. I got a little whoop-de-doo for a second. But what spell do they have over us to where we literally will vote against our own best interests out of party loyalty? I mean, we will literally sit here and vote for them to bring in other groups to put them in power over us. Because that's what happened here in LA. At the turn of the century, we had over 1 million Black people in Los Angeles, and look at us now. And this be directly associated with that.
Yeah. Probably went up.
No, he just stopped. I mean,
I would say this. I want to.
Go ahead.
Hold on. You can go. I gotta do something just for a second. Hold on. I'm about to say something. Hold on.
I mean, like I was saying, if we think about it, that's a bold statement to say, I'll have those ninjas with the hard ER voting Democrat for the next 200 years. That's a bold. I mean, a white supremacist is not going to make that kind of statement unless they know the check is already cashed and deposited in the bank.
You ever heard of the term destiny swap?
Yep.
They have swapped our minds to the minds of our enemy and made us believe that the Democratic Party belonged to the Black people. And then the sad part is we will pray, we will go to church, but we will not educate ourselves on how we got here in politics. We won't use our mind to see that God is trying to give us so many ways out because we're stuck with these old-fashioned people stuck in their ways without opening their eyes to see anything else. The Republican Party, is the Republican Party. If they all Republicans, then let's go put on our red and get over there and then put the best black Republican in there to sweep up these dirty Democratic streets. The Democrats.
We so far gone at this point. We are so far gone that if you could bring Malcolm X back to life and Martin Luther King back to life and put them both on the Republican ticket, running as Republicans, we would not vote for them today. That's how far gone we are.
Republican. I said this. It has been driven into us not to call white people what they are, these old racist white people who are in Congress, whether they're Democrats and Republicans, because none one of them are stopping it. All of them allowed the immigrants to come in and take over the black community. All of them was implicated in the CIA program where they dropped guns and crack in our neighborhoods. Someone said, well, you didn't have to use them. Well, when you take away everything that a person has and own and take away every opportunity, and then the only opportunity to feed your family, you think I'm gonna do this for a little bit and get out, and next thing you know, it goes on and on.
Right. Can I address that person? Can I address that person real quick? So we gotta repeat this every show darn near. Sir, ma'am, what we're dealing with is military strategies and tactics that are used to destabilize entire countries. Yet in the situation, or in the ordeal of being a Black American, those tactics are being used against Black American citizens to destabilize us as an ethnic group, literally. So when you are undergoing economic disenfranchisement, when you were in a situation to where you couldn't get a business loan to save your life, when you were in a situation to where you have to be the best buck dancer around, well, you have to be a college degree certified buck dancer just to get a entry level job, you are going to get into a situation to where the CIA and whoever other groups are involved are going to put the illegal crumbs on the table, and they know that a lot of us are going to take it because we're trying to survive. So that narrative there of you didn't have to take it, you didn't have to use it, what do you think a person in survival is going to do?
And they made this, they tested this. They knew.
Yeah, this is not just some happenstance. They do testing, they do all kind of things. Let's see what happens if we do this. Let's do this, let's do that. Heavy propaganda is being used against us. This is not done by accident. This is strategy. And like I said many times, white supremacy operates on a decade by decade basis. So by the time we react to something, they've had this plan 10 years ago, and when it finally hits us in reality, we react to it at the last minute, to something that has been planned on 10, 20 years ago.
Yes. Just like I said, go and let's all join the Republican just to get what they want. See, what we see is these old racists, white people would do anything to stay in power. We would do anything to prove that we love everybody. We sit here and prove that we
everybody's
love
our friend. We love everybody.
We love everybody while everybody is eating off our backs. Both parties were implicated into destroying our communities, our mind, our children, our future, our 2-parent households. It's written. You can study it. It's there. Every woke person says it generation after generation.
Yeah.
So why don't we start thinking like our enemy?
If you think she's lying or putting on, all you have to do, because a lot of these are declassified. So if you are a person of research and information, all you have to do is go look at the NSMs, which are the National Security Memorandums. Look at NSM 46. It's designed to keep revolutionary Black groups fighting each other, whether they're here or. Yep.
Tell them how to get there. See, what a lot of Black people do is they got that. It's been passed on to us from our grandparents. You have to have that smart friend that tells you. And so since the person you trust, whether they were white or Black, told you, then you go by what that person told you, but you never read it yourself. See, they don't know how to find NSM.
Yeah, all you gotta do. I mean, you could do this on Google, and I know for some of you Negroes, you always try to go Google. Google ain't legitimate for research. Yeah, you a lot of you try to use the excuse Google ain't good for research. You can't trust it. This is declassified government documents. So all you gotta do is do a quick Google search. If you don't trust Google, go to the library. You can look a lot of this stuff up. National security memorandums. All you have to do is look through them. Like I brought it up before. You think the rainbow and how they got a majority of black people to run over to the rainbow was an accident? No, this was something that was experiments done. That transformerism was birthed on a college on a university campus. I mean, if you look into it, you'll see all the thing with white supremacy. They don't necessarily hide their crimes. They don't cook the books really. It's right there in your face because that saying, if you want a Negro not to know something, put it in a book. But we have been taught that to be ignorant is bliss. And here's the reality of the situation. About what I asked earlier about LBJ's statement about having us vote Democrat for the next 200 years. We just suffered through the Biden-Harris administration, and the whole world saw clearly that they have us so trained to digest covert racism or we'll call it NASCARism so we don't get censored. We are so trained to digest covert NASCARism. It's just like second nature for us. And that's the real difference between that last election we had, the real difference between Trump and Harris, and before that, Trump and Biden. The real difference is they have bludgeoned us into loving the taste of covert racism instead of the overt in-your-face Republican-style racism. We figure, well, as long as they smile while they're calling me a ninja, it's all good. That's what they've beaten us into. They have literally beaten the fight out of most of us at this point.
Good point. I think too, and
Yes.
I think too is we gotta call it like it is, y'all. I think our I won't say our parents, but I would say the baby
Our
boomers,
grandparents and parents.
grandparents, they kind of failed us to a certain degree. Now in the 60s, when they needed to do it, it was necessary to a certain degree, but we should have kept, when they got the civil rights bill, kind of just left it like that, and then we should have just moved on, because we holding on to some old idea, old traditions that don't work anymore, and a lot of black people are walking away from it. They don't think it's a big deal like a lot of these other black liberals and Democrats, and they Al Sharptons and all them people, and then they come out to Killer Mike because now he telling about, because he didn't vote for Kamala Harris. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. Now all the black women, some of them, DL Hewleys and all them type of people coming at him to my don't take it, like they like, yeah, don't regret it now. You didn't vote for the black woman. First off, the lady's not black, y'all. And second of all, she didn't have no policy. She still don't have no policy. They talking about she's supposed to be running, and the Democrats don't have nobody really to run. So they really trying to lean back to my she didn't have enough time to run. But see, people don't understand. She ran in 2019. We seem to forget that. So this ain't her second time running, it's her third time running. Yeah,
the crazy part, here's the crazy part. I'm gonna show you, especially for that person who made that comment about we didn't have to sell the drugs and didn't have to shoot the guns or join the gang. Let me give you a quick glance into how their propaganda and strategies work. For the past decade or so, what specific black group has the Democrat Party been pushing to the forefront and making the poster child and putting on a pedestal, what seems to be a pedestal that they recently pulled the plug on and pulled the rug from under their feet? What specific black group have they been doing that with?
Nobody but us.
No. I mean, as in, which group has the Democrat Party handpicked to push to the forefront to make their poster child and the subject of the black female, the black female. Now look what they've done. So you push the black female to the front, and this is called a proxy war. Let's break this all the way down. This is called a proxy war, where they have these little mini wars that lead to get a victory in a bigger war. And it's a proxy war. So by them pushing the black woman to the forefront, putting her in these corporate positions, letting her get these federal jobs, this and that, what were they doing there? What they were doing is they were elevating, I don't need a man, I don't need this, I'm ultra successful. Right. White man smiling at me. So what and why did they do that? if you do a quick historic search on the black movement since the plantation, coming off the plantation, who was the face of the movement? It's always the matriarch. It's the woman led the Underground Railroad. The black woman has always been the backbone of the Black American movement. So that's why, you know what? Let's break their movement at its source, at its back. Let's incentivize the black woman to walk away from them. That's why they did that. And we've been coasting so long, we fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
I don't even think it's all that, because if you look at the Black Panther, the black man was in the forefront, the black woman helped run it. I think they just played us because you have to. The thing about it is they use the black man as the face of prison and crime. And they use the black woman as the face of, I'm strong, I don't need a man, like you said. And what they did is displace both of us. They pushed.
They did it to both of us. They did it to both of us, and I was using that one as a recent example. And to use the Black Panther Party, if you look at the Black Panther Party and the inner workings of it, black women were the backbone. Although the men were the face of it, the backbone of the party was the black woman. Everything, all the organizing, all the stuff behind the scenes, that was black women doing all that.
And that's why they had to move the black man out the way, because a black man, just like a white man, he's doing everything for his race. The black man was going to do everything for their woman. This is why we had Black Wall Street in the thousands of towns. This is why you had most of the movies with Roots and everything. What they did, they broke down the black man in front of the black woman. This is why you have the black man always being broke down in front of his woman, because they wanted the woman to look at the black man as weak. But what it is that they wanted, and that's why they wanted the black man to think that the black woman doesn't respect them, and then they want the black man, when he did get successful, to go to the white woman so the wealth can be redistributed back over into the white community.
Yeah, it's a racial Ponzi scheme, and again, if you read the book called How to Make a Slave, it'll explain where everything she just laid out to you. That's literally what that book is about, How to Make a Slave, and this is literally what they've done. And so right now, they have incentivized a whole generation, maybe 2 generations of black women to go get these college degrees, cobble up under the white man to get those positions, and turn their back on their own people. They just wiped out 2 generations of the black movement like that. And when the statement I made earlier, they have beaten the fight out of most of us. That's how they do it. That's how they did it.
Hey, let me play this real quick. This from Nina Turner. Everybody hating on her because they said she mad because Obama didn't pick her. She was running heavy on Obama campaign a while back. Y'all know Nina Turner. Y'all heard her. She been dropping some Jews. This is a little clip because I don't think I got all of it, but listen what she's saying. Hold on.
Party emasculates black men, and I think Hispanic men probably feel the same way. And I say this because they weaponize identity. When and where we enter, who we are, how we identify is important to who we are, just like our fingerprints. But if you're not going to use my identity to advance a social justice cause, and you're just going to use my identity as a blunt force object, now I got a problem. So what the Democratic Party does, they put black women on a pedestal and they say, we're the mothers of the movement, or we saved the party. But yet you don't put forth policies that save black babies. You don't put forth policies that deal with the maternal death rate of black women and black babies in the United States of America. You don't do those things that lift and edify. Yes, identity is important. Both parties use it differently.
Yeah, that was some of the clips.
Exactly.
Y'all agree with
one party is one evil party with 2 different names.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, and that's why. I mean, look at the last election. Just what I was just talking about. Look at who Kamala Harris went and paid all the money to. She paid black females to get up there in front of the world and twerk and gyrate and entertain to get the black vote. And that why? Because you look at Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion is not a moron. Meg Thee Stallion is a college-educated young black woman who's made a lot of money for herself, and she's been incentivized by that Democrat Party. Now the Democrat Party would never market her to you as what she was a college grad and she had her act together. They wouldn't market that to you. They only want you to see the twerking side, and that's by design.
And I say this about Meg now that her and her man broke up. they use the worst side of her.
Oh yeah, Clay Thomas.
Why would
Oh
they
yeah,
want
now
anybody
they want to talk about
twerk?
the now
Why
they
would
want
they
to talk
want
about
this
the word.
twerker? Yeah, like
Now
she
black
was
man ain't
played.
ish, even though he biracial. That's another.
But yeah, she was played. He cheated on her, and you know, like she was played. Like you're saying, her image of how she made her money spoke more before her than her education. They don't market that. The only reason we knew about her education is because she told us.
Yeah, they would have never have marketed it. I mean, that's the thing, and that's another thing with the Democrat Party. They're not too, like we said, these people are old and on their way out the door. They are not too knowledgeable about the tech era to understand that you can literally go online in seconds and get information that they don't want you to have.
Yes. And so it comes down to us people. We got to start swallowing our pride and understanding our enemy, because our enemy study us day and night. They wake up, yawn, black people. What we going to do today? Yawn, black people. What black person can I get to be on my side? Because at the end of the day, we have all these black representatives that has been sitting in Congress, in the Supreme Court, and in your local seats, and nothing is being done. We have been worse. They put a church on every corner. There was never a church on every corner when we owned Black Wall Street. You went to maybe the mass churches. So prayer is not the only thing we need. We need some common sense. We need to do like our enemy. And the only thing is to play their game. Go join the Republican Party, and then you won't have to sit over here and cry and whelp and that they're taking redistricting you. Go sign up for Republican, and then you run for Republican. But the problem is these Democrats won't allow you, because how the evil party divided itself, the other evil party that's in the Democrats are getting rich off of your oppression. They're getting rich by taking
listen, now they got this virus I'm hearing on this cruise ship, the antivirus outbreak. You see, we getting close to the midterms, so they're gonna come up with another virus.
Yeah, the show keeps repeating, and I've had to say this because everybody knows that's been tuned to the show. They know that me and Mr. P both, well, Mr. P and myself both, used to be chocolate Republicans. We used to rock hard with it. We used to try to help them. And I've sat in these strategy meetings with these white Republicans. How can we reach the black community? How can we do this? How can we do that? And I've had to say repeatedly to other black people, well, you can't be too mad at the Republican Party, because if you decided on a generational basis that you were going to shop at Walmart and forsake every other store around, then don't get mad when the other stores don't want to do business with you, because you're not doing business with them. You made it clear, plain and simple. I am exclusively loyal to, I call it Ghetto Mart, but I'm exclusively loyal to Walmart. Screw everybody else. So then when everybody else says screw you, you can't get mad. Just like you can't really get mad at Latinos. How do Latinos have the power that they've been able to get despite everything that Trump is doing? And I mean, and despite the fact that Obama held the record for mass deportation of any American president. Why? Because they hedge their bets on both sides of the aisle. You will see that the Latino voting bloc almost is split 50-50. They get their people in the Republican Party and in the Democrat Party, and either way they go, they're voting Latino interests first. We don't want to do that. We put that party before our own race, which is crazy.
And let me say this too. With Jasmine Crockett, she wanted to keep her district. See how Jasmine Crockett, we said things about her and Kamala, how they didn't cater to the black vote. Jasmine Crockett made sure she cried on the stand for immigrants. She cried for the white lady who ran up on, would try to run ICE over, because had it been a black person, they would have been justified with unaliving him or her. And she did all this. She fussed about how ain't nobody want to do no farming and all this other. She cosplayed to everybody but her own group of people. And she lost because they turned around and voted for their best interest. They voted for the Latino white man. That had nothing to do with Trump.
Thank you for your help, Negress, but we're going to vote for our own. Thank you.
Yes. She had, there you go. Voter data shows Latino voters propelled to James Talaracos or whatever That had nothing to do with Trump, but everything right now is being blamed on Trump. Trump. These people were already there. These people have
This
already
voting
been here.
practice on the part of Latinos was there long before Trump ever became a politician. Let's just tell the truth.
Yes, these Latino, everybody looking out for their own interests. Look at this. I was pulling up some of this. Maxine Waters, you've been in Congress since you've been in your 20s or 30s. She's not getting as much money, but she's living comfortable. They can afford that $4 gas.
Oh, maybe where I'm at is $6 and $7 where I'm at. I mean, I have driven by the projects and seen Maxine Waters campaign posters planted in the projects. I've seen Negroes driving around, and the worst is
I think Pablo, you went out, but
You're
I want
right,
you to
I
see
mean,
Cory
yeah.
Booker. Cory Booker, $15 million. They all have this. And if you look at what I just put up, go back and look at it if you ain't seen it. Read this, Google it, look up their wealth, and then you will see they all have the same excuse for having wealth. Oh, they went to go do book signings and this and that. Our Congress people aren't supposed to be famous. They're supposed to be working for me and you.
Facts.
So they don't want to go to the Republican Party because they need the Republican Party to keep. They need the Democratic Party to keep promising you a future that never comes forward.
Yep.
And the future was there, y'all. We had over, Google it, use AI. There was over, we say 100 or something. AI said there was an estimate of 1,000 to 2,000 black towns that was destroyed.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah.
So what were and through the aforementioned propaganda that I mentioned earlier, you would never know. Now, if we were not in the internet era, unless you was a complete information junkie and bookworm, you would never know about those 2,000 black towns.
Yes, you don't even know. They keep saying Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street. Okay, think about it. If we were so poor after slavery, how did we have the first bus system? We had the first airplane. Y'all talk, Spirit Airlines went out of business, but do you know the first black people had their own airlines?
Facts.
Do you know we had our own bus systems? We had our own airplanes. Who created those? We did. Hotels.
Just like the beach resort out here in California, we had a beach resort because we were not allowed to be on the same beach as the whites. I mean, how do we do all that? And the crazy part is, if you look to now,
we had, and they got rid of it. They destroyed our towns, and then they created the Democratic Party.
And that's why I don't like commentary like the Negro who put the comment about you didn't have to sell it. You didn't have to buy. I mean, Negro, we in a rigged game. It's rigged to where no matter what you do, you're not gonna get ahead, and you definitely, unless you are being used for white supremacist purposes, you're not gonna be able to keep up equal with Massa. This game is rigged, and yes, they are gonna let a few of us through because yes, they do have federal laws and such because hey, they don't want to be liable to the world court. And that's the reason why this country exempted itself from the jurisdiction of the International Criminal Court. They don't want to be held liable before the world for their activities. So of course, I mean, just the same makeup as the plantation. Of course, they were going to let some people be house Negroes. Just because there's a house Negro doesn't mean that the game ain't rigged, because the game is definitely rigged. I mean, go start you an LLC and get you a business and see how hard and difficult it is for you to get a business. I mean, this political problem and miseducation that we choose to live under, we are now seeing that even black immigrants are rejecting that practice because everybody sees how fatal it is.
Yeah,
we're the only ones who tend, outside of the FBA, ADOS, Freedmen, and Solon crowd, the average black American, we're not talking about any immigrants, the average black American is still overwhelmingly loyal to the Democrat Party, which is crazy.
Yes. To get rid of the Democrat Party, it wasn't in the Constitution. Everybody, you cannot hold your hand, listen to the national anthem, hold your hand, and I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God.
Yeah,
it didn't say to the Democrat and the Republican. So you are worshiping a devil party. The devil is a spirit of illusion, and you have been tricked. Weak, flim flam.
I mean, for a party to sit here and literally turn sexual perversions, and things like PDF and into some kind of a ethnic group and use the black struggle just to be considered human and use that to legitimize it as if this is some kind of a race of people. How I mean your ancestors, if they could come back, they would probably want to lynch you for going for
They
that.
love Obama, and Obama let men in the girls' bathroom. And that's why they, you know, that y'all, you don't want to face the truth of what happened to you through the Democratic Party, because they have been infiltrated. The Democratic Party has no wins. When the civil rights came, they didn't win. They opened up a floodgate so everybody but black people can benefit from this government.
Yeah.
And here's a side note. So like I said, this is an information and facts type
Think
of show.
about it.
There were multiple civil rights. There were multiple civil rights proposals put forward by the Republican Party, but you would never know that unless you wouldn't look for it.
Let me ask you this. When was if we just got voting rights and nobody could vote, right? And if the first president was black in the 1700s, right? How can you free me from slavery in the 1800s? Now, come on, Google it. If the first black president was in the 1700s, we created the Treasury Department. We were Republicans. Remember this. Then how could you free me in the 1800s if the first black president was in the 1700s and we were the Republicans? So when did then you turn around and tell me that we were able to vote in the 1900s?
Now, mind you, you're talking about the party that literally birthed the Triple K as this street enforcement team. I mean, make it make sense.
Because when they got rid of the real black people, the first black president, when they got rid of the black Republicans, they created the Dixiecrat because there were white people who voted for black people. That's how the first black president got elected. So look up the year that the first black president got elected and what party it was. Then you flip around. If we came on boats and we were enslaved, how can you free us in the 1800s? If you freed me in the 1850s or 40s and we didn't know until another 100 years, then how did we acquire 1,000 black towns and was able to build planes and trains and automobiles and insurance companies and clothing companies and all this stuff within 50 years? And then you turned around and burned it down. The history and the timeline makes no sense. We have been flim-flam, lied to, and ran amok. And the people who have been holding your education has been letting the other people erase it. The Republicans is kind of like the flower. If you have a crop and you want your crops to grow and you have a pest, they plant this crop next to it so that the bugs can be attracted to it so you won't eat this crop. So they usually plant sunflowers. Sunflowers are the ones that we just love. It just stands up, they grow tall, and they go there, and that's what attracts the bugs. So the Republican Party is the sunflower for racism. They want you to look at the flower over here while they go over here and they really destroy the rest of the crop that's growing. They destroy the rest of you. So some of you are over here looking at the sunflower, and then the Democrats are really up here destroying the rest of the crops over here. See, one party is a distraction.
It don't ever cross your mind that like even if you go after slavery, for most of us Black Americans, when it comes to politics, it never crossed your mind that Frederick Douglass was a Republican. You never said, well, why would he be a Republican? And you never thought, okay, he's a Republican, so what caused us to be locked in with this Democrat Party, the party of the KKK? How did we get here? We don't ever think to look into this stuff.
We never ask questions because somehow
they pass the traditional
around God, and then they put in don't question the Lord. It's for your best. The Lord makes no mistakes.
And your parents and grandparents did the same thing, so you got to follow the tradition. Black people love old traditions. They just
what they call them? Those old
ninjas. Yeah, man. I'm sorry. A lot of them in our families and stuff. Yeah. And I know people who disown their family members when they voted for Trump and stuff like that. Y'all crazy.
But you got history right there.
check this out.
You
2
got
more years.
history right there that tell you that they were Republicans, and somehow y'all still sit up here. Like you say, all the black leaders were Republicans.
Yep. I tell everybody, read the book, the origin of the black elites. Great book. I'm gonna go read it again. They show you in the beginning, all black people were Republicans.
Let's read it online. Get the book and let's start having a reading session.
Yeah.
Because some of our people ain't gonna read unless we read it to them, and some people ain't gonna believe nothing because they want. They ain't. And then some black people ain't gonna do nothing because some black people, I'm telling you, there's a remnant of us is gonna be saved because some black people want to just sit here and complain. And then some black people want to blend in with everybody and act like nobody is the enemy and let Lottie die and everything gonna be okay. And then some of us have our eyes open.
And we got some comments too. He been killing the comments.
Let me go to the comments because I have to get out of here too.
Yeah, me too. But look,
let's see.
I tell black people
Let's see. It say our women were women who was only for our melanated men. We was the back for our men. So this have to be a female. And let's see what this say. No one can show us a history of Asian Mexico, Puerto Rico, African, etc. of historic cities destroyed in this country or their historic colleges, just like the California burned a historic melanated community. True. She said that would be great. I like reading to me.
Yeah, like hey, and you ain't never heard. Now, for especially for the person who put that comment about you didn't have to do it. Have you ever heard of a strong, independent Mexican woman, a strong, independent Chinese woman, a strong, independent Japanese woman?
Can curse somebody out, look like she angry, fight, kick, and then they all looked at as Latina.
That's that spice.
Yeah, I don't play. You see them on there slapping their children when they play the jokes. Look at what's in your face. But when we do something, it's a strong black woman. It's an
you don't see no other group. You don't see no other group, and I'll bring the black immigrants in this too. You don't see no other group, including the black immigrants, being incentivized to go online and destroy their own men and their own women. They co-opted hip hop and use it to destroy the image of the black woman. And now we see they're using social media, social engineering to use the black woman to destroy the black man in return. This gender war is the hottest thing going. The gender war has actually replaced the diaspora war online. They are going hard in the paint with the black gender war.
What somebody say in the comment?
Then she said the white system had labeled us the worst of the worst. They hid their wrongdoing, and their people are lawless people. Exactly. That's why America effed up and they continue to do their wrong. Just do exactly. I said, when are white men gonna be punished for their crimes? We just overlook the Epstein files. That's the worst thing of human trafficking there is.
Yeah,
and I keep
now you got to hear about Diddy. We heard about Diddy around the clock for months, but they swept. Yeah, they took Diddy and ran him around the clock for months. But the Epstein files come out, and you only hear about it for maybe a week, and they sweep it under the rug. Oh, it's no big deal.
See, Diddy is small fish,
and they all in Congress. What about the white men that are rich that's going to Africa and stuff and buying children?
Them powerful people. Unfortunately, that's just
what y'all know about this one. We were sitting down here while they was doing all this. Trump is in the Epstein file stuff. I forgot what they were. It was Diddy was being circulated. Trump being accused of being in the Epstein files. This and that. A whole time all this is going on, Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is sitting down here in federal court facing cocaine charges, and nobody said a word.
Not just cocaine charges, he had child porn and stuff on his computers.
Yeah, he banged his brother's wife. Yeah.
And then his son, and then his dad went in and parted him.
Yeah.
And when we just sit by, it's all good. They Democrats, they some good peoples. They're some good people.
Like they one evil party with two different names, and until we see that and start thinking like strategically, until we start, everybody needs to join the Republican Party, because if that's where all the votes are going to be, instead of crying, look what they did, look at what they did, look at what that, go join the Republican Party. That's how you make them mad, and then you run.
Hey, hold on, I'm gonna say it before we leave, and we gotta go. This popped up on my phone, but Stacey Abrams calls for unity to protect black and brown voters across the
There it
South.
is.
I'm so sick and tired of that brown shit. And listen, I look at people going in. Look, let me tell you.
I'm gonna play this. Go ahead.
Somebody
I'm gonna
said,
just
who the hell
leave
is
this
the
up when
brown
they talk
people?
about black and brown. Go
Then
ahead.
somebody
Go
said,
ahead.
why hasn't any look? This somebody said, why hasn't any
Black
brown
and brown.
politician mentioned, focus, or stress black and brown anything? They never speak out. All right, you got it.
No, I was just leaving that up there when you was
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
saying
They
I was
don't
leaving
never
this
speak
picture
up. The
up
brown
here.
people don't never speak up for us. I'm tired of that shit, man. I'm like, come on.
They don't
It's a
want
lot
to
of-
see a
And
black
what do
person
we
over
get?
them.
Yeah.
And what do we get?
Nothing.
We get a rainbow ninja going online now talking about straight black men are the problem. So that's what we get out. That's what we get out of the day.
I had to get this. I got this from
This
Professor
dude
Black
right
Truth.
here,
I think that's his name.
Yeah,
And
Roland
Roland
Martin,
Martin, and he was just talking about how Roland. Somebody else said how Roland Martin filed for bankruptcy in 21. And then you
Roland
look at
Martin.
all the presidency,
Oh,
and
yeah,
then say,
boo.
folks, we need to call this what it is: an absolute attack on the Black America by the Republican Party, and there should be a state of emergency in Black America with what's going on. What we should be looking is to have freedom
dang all that.
summer.
I'm
We are
looking at the zest.
educating, informing, enlightening,
I know he looks
signing
zesty on
people
it.
up.
Yeah, dang all that. I'm looking at the zestiness of that
Let me
photo.
read- Listen, this is another comment real quick.
But
He
the
looking like
thing
a
is,
bad.
like,
Hold
Professor
on,
Black
y'all.
Truth pointed out how they want to keep doing stuff old fashioned, signing up, voting. We've been voting for y'all. Just before Trump came in, the Democrats stopped it. Y'all had the House and the Senate.
Exactly.
Full
And
control.
let me
Do we
say
not
this real
remember
quick.
that?
Yeah, I remember. Listen, let me read this real quick. This guy that on Stacey Abrams page said, "I find it troubling that we're always campaigning for brown justice. But what I noticed is brown people are aligned more with Caucasians. This doesn't mean we shouldn't support efforts to protect all voters, regardless of race. Let's focus on fair access for everyone." Yeah, I agree with him on that. Yeah, because the thing is, like you said, the brown people never speak up. That picture again, they never speak up for us. Now they talking about since they beat Jasmine Crockett out. Now they talking about we got to come together so we can get Texas. That's not gonna happen. You ain't getting Texas. You ain't finna flip no Texas blue. Yeah, that ain't happening. So you might well forget that. Y'all
But,
still there?
I mean,
yeah.
hey, this is what they want, and until we stop focusing on blue and red and start focusing on the party that we can overtake.
Yeah.
Just like they overtook us, until we start focusing. If Hakeem Jeffries is so good and all of them is this and that, then get in there and do the government like it's supposed to do. Get over there and get in there and take over the racist Republican seat.
Hakeem Jeffrey is a weird looking dude, man, and he talked like a Muffet. He sound like a Muffet. I remember the Muffet. He sounds just I can't take that guy serious, man. He's yeah, you're right. So I don't know, man. I'm done with him.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's all we have to say. We just gotta come up. We got the solution. The solution is join the Republican Party, because the Democrats have redistricted the maps many a times. This is not the first time. That's why you see it in the thing. This is the latest redistricting map, and they've been doing it. The Democrats did it. Now the Republicans did it, but the Democrats don't tell you when they do it. And so it's kind of like throwing a stone and hiding your hand. So the thing is, let us all get in there and do something together. And let's join the Republican Party, and then let you go ahead and let everybody go ahead and join the Republican Party, and then let the best candidate run against the people inside their own party, like Trump did. Trump was a Democrat. You remember, y'all want to put everything on the Republicans. Trump was a Democrat.
He sure is. Nobody want to talk about that. But that being said, y'all,
when he joined the Republican Party,
exactly.
Give the Republican Party no excuses. Join everybody black, join the Republican Party, and every candidate join the Republican and run.
Yep.
Then that way we can all vote for you. If you Stacey Abrams, go on and join the Republican Party, then you got the black vote, and then everybody else go vote. Then, stop swaying the vote, stop letting them divide us, and we sit in the back crying. Then when the Democrats get in, if they play the same game, obviously it probably won't happen, because obviously we will be in power, right? So everybody get your candidates together and everything in these next couple of elections, local And then when Trump come, everybody get over there already be a Republican. Then there's nothing to divide. Then all you're gonna hear is what they can offer
You breaking up. Yeah.
You as a person.
Exactly.
Not as a you won't give them a chance to play this party bad. Put them all in one bucket.
I love it. And that being
and I land
said,
my plane.
There's a good one, y'all. So yeah, do that, y'all. Do what the Queen said. I love it. So it could be you see Chicago flip red, and then they got then they got Philly flip red. So it's happening already. Last comment, and we out of here. I don't watch some of our people. They with that black and brown.
Yeah, I read it. She said, I don't watch my people channels. Said, I don't watch some of our people channels because they with that black and brown BS. Yeah, because the elections show it. Your neighborhoods show there's no black and brown coalition. When the brown people come in, they might hire one poor black person to sweep the store, and he about be the drug addict in the neighborhood. Then you might come in there now that they listen to I went to some of these wing places because it ain't nowhere else to go here. Then they owned by these Asian people, but now you'll see one or two black people working. Every time we speak something, they change their ammo, but at the end of the day, we still don't have ownership of our communities.
Exactly. That's it. We out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.